Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be giving you guys a brief update on my Ancestry DNA results for 2024. I know I've been missing on here for a while. Please forgive me. I beg of you. I know, we all have things going on in our lives. Some may be working, some may be otherwise minded, but I'm sorry guys. Please forgive me. But anyway, I'll be giving you guys an update on my Ancestry DNA results. Some information were provided to us that we didn't have before, and some of the information that I had last year had changed, so I provided you guys with that information as well. If you have not checked out my previous video, please check it out guys. It's on the Miskito Indians in Jamaica, and the one before that was about my Ancestry DNA results a couple of years ago. Alright, so please check out that video before you watch this update. Alright, but anyway, I'll be diving into that and I'll be giving you guys a breakdown of that so you could have a better understanding of my genetic makeup. I also put the links in the description to previous videos, so please check them out. Alright, so before I get any further, please grab our coffee, grab a popcorn, and let's dive into this video. Thank you guys, and stay tuned. I'll be giving you an update of my Ancestry DNA results for 2024. Now, as you can see on the screen, the highest percentage is Nigeria with 48%. And as you can see here, they now have some ethnicity groups that were added. And if I click there, it's going to give me a brief description of that. So it said Nigeria is 48% and your ancestral heritage estimate is 48%, but it can range from 40 to 52%. Now, if you checked out my past video on my update, my Nigerian was 53%. But now it went down to 48%. Alright? And it shows the area in green right there, as you can see, guys. And it gives you like a brief synopsis of the country itself and also the different ethnic groups that are part of it. So, as you see, it says, you share DNA with at least one person in our reference panel who comes from a group below. You may be connected to one or more of these groups. They are right there, as you can see. We have at least 6 different groups. But if you guys had watched my past videos, I made mention that when I took the 23andMe, I had like 9 relatives from Nigeria that were 100% Nigerian, and most of them said to me that they're from Anambra state in Nigeria, and they're from the Igbo tribe. So I figure more or less that's the group that I'm a part of, but it's still interesting to me that Ancestry DNA did not pinpoint my tribe, but I guess because I have that much percentage, that's why they can't pinpoint it. So 48% Nigerian, and let's see what else is in my genetic makeup. We have Benin and Togo, and as you can see, it also has some updates. So last year, it was still 18%, so that had not changed one bit. So it was 18% last year, and it's still 18% now. However, with the update, you can now see that there is some ethnic group that were added to this area. And as you can see, these are the 6 tribes, right? And it's so interesting because I didn't know that we had that much tribes in that area, but it's very interesting to note. See, if I click, it shows, where the tribes are from. So that's quite interesting. And as I said before, my Benin and Togo percentage did not change at all. Alright. So I'm 48% Nigerian, and it was, as I said earlier, it was 53% last year, so it went down. And 18% Benin and Togo. It was 18% last year and still 18% this year with the update. And the next area that we have is Ivory Coast and Ghana. It was 8% last year and it's still 8% this year. And it gives you the, the area that I come from. It gives you like, it says that it range from 4 to 12%, but I'm 8%, and it shows the area in which I'm from, and it gives a brief synopsis of the areas and so forth. All right, so I'm gonna click on and see what else has been updated. So as you can see here, I did not have this last year. However, they have a section called Central West Africa. I did not have that at all, so that's new. And if I click that, it will say that your ancestral region estimate is 8%, but it can range from 4 to 13%. And as you can see, the areas covered: Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Ghana, and Burkina Faso. And it gives you a full description of that area, right? And it also shows, it says the ethnic group of Central West Africa. It says you share DNA with at least one person in our reference panel who came from a group below. You may be connected to one or more of these groups. But I can only see one, so I guess it's just, it says Euroba. So if I click on that, it links to these areas. It says the Yoruba makes up one of the Nigeria's largest ethnic group. Part of this community have previously known as Nago, Anago, Lokwimi, Okimi, or Aku. Sorry for any mispronunciations. They reside mainly in southwestern Nigeria, including Nigeria's most populous city, Lagos, with smaller populations in Benin and Togo. Together, this area is called Euroba Land. Wow. As a result of the transatlantic slave trade, there are also diasporic Yoruba communities in the USA, Brazil, and the Caribbean, where Yoruba cultures have evolved and blended into systemic belief and practices, right? And it says the cultural and spiritual homeland of the Yoruba is the Nigeria city of Lilifi, said to be a site of creation of the world. Wow. The Yoruba are recognized for their artistic skills in woodcrafting, bronze casting, and drumming. Shows the language and all that stuff and the areas. It's quite fascinating. Wow. Did not know that at all. Right? So I did not have that last year, so this is quite new. So, and that makes up 8% of my genetic makeup, the Central West Africa. Now we're going to move on to Mali. So I had Mali last year and it was 4%, and this year it's still 4%. And it also has an update with the ethnicity group or the ethnic groups. So it says your ancestral region estimate is 4%, but it can range from 3 to 7%. And it says you share DNA with at least one person in our reference who came from a group below. You may be connected to one or more of these groups. And as you can see, we have those 4 groups right there. Wow. This is quite interesting. And if I click on each, it hovers on the areas in which I might have a relative from. Wow. It's quite interesting. So they have a lot of updates, guys, especially for African people or people from Atlantic slave trade. Anybody who ended up in Brazil, in America, in the Caribbean. It pinpoints like various ethnic groups that we may have come from. So that's very interesting to note. That's a big deal. So I also have a region called Indo-Gamic Plains. So I didn't have that before. I actually had North India and it was 5%. Now I'm seeing Indo-Gamic Plains, which is 4%. I'm not sure what that is, but it says Indo-Gamic Plain. Your ancestral region estimate is 4%, but it can range from 2 to 5%. And if I zoom this in, it says it seems like it's located in Pakistan, and Nepal, in those areas. Let me see if I can do some more reading on this. Oh yeah, it's primarily located in India and Pakistan, and it's also found in Afghanistan, Oman, and those other countries. And it says the Hindu heartland of North India is one of the world's most fertile region. The volcanic ash, which washes down from the Himalayas, has supported one of the world's largest population for millennials. The historical homelands of one of the world's major religion, Buddhism, was also a central region for the development of early Hinduism and grounds for a rich Islamic culture from the 13th century onwards. Wow. This is quite interesting. I never had an idea that I was from that specific region, and it actually pinpoints the exact area. That wasn't the case before. So that's a big deal for me. I didn't know that at all. If anybody have any more information on this, I would like to share below this video about this region in my ancestral DNA makeup. That would be great. But that makes up 4% of my genetic makeup. Alright. Now, I also have an update, which is Euroba Land. I never had that at all. I never had Euroba Land in my ethnicity makeup before. So this is very new. So when I click on that, it's zooming on Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. Right? And it says your ancestral region estimate is 2%, but it can range from 0 to 5%. And it says it's primarily in those areas that I mentioned earlier. Wow. Had no idea. And as you can see there, guys, it says ethnic groups of Euroba Land includes these 3. And I keep seeing Yoruba. So it's possible that I have Yoruba, a lot of Yoruba in me. It's quite interesting. The other update that I saw is the Bengal. I never had that in my DNA, and it came to 2% this time around. I never had that at all. So now it's 2%. Let me click on that. And it says your ancestral region estimate is 2%, but it can range from 0 to 2%. And it seemed like it's in Bangladesh. Let me see where. It's primarily in Bangladesh, right? Wow. This is quite fascinating. Probably I got this from the indentured servants that were sent to Jamaica from India and Pakistan. I guess that's how I ended up having these areas in my genetic makeup. Very interesting. I had last time I had this update, I had England and Northwestern Europe. Now it's showing me that I have 2% Germanic Europe. So I guess it's more specific now. When I click on that, it says the ancestral region estimate is 2%, but it can range from 0 to 2%. And as you can see, it has Germany in it. And let me see if there's any other. So it's primarily located in Austria, right? Belgium, France, Germany, Switzerland, and so forth. So that area makes up 2% of my genetic makeup. All right. Wow. So I kind of have an idea about this. I knew I would have some European in my DNA, and I guess that's where that's from. So let me go back and see if there's any more updates. We also have the Deccan and the Gulf of Mannar. Never had this before. I'm just seeing this for the first time. So when I click on that, it says your ancestral region estimate is 1%, but it can range from 0 to 2%. And it says it's primarily located in the Maldives, Sri Lanka, and India. Wow. And it pinpoints the exact area, which is wild to me because last time it wasn't as specific as now. So I'm proud of how many other people are taking the DNA test so they could have more information to give us, and it can more be specific to each region. So I'm proud of the strides that Ancestry DNA is making, to be honest. I'm very happy. Even though a lot of us don't know a lot about these regions, it's good for us to do some research on them. And I know people are watching this video from all over the world. If you'd like to share in this video, please do. I'm from Jamaica, so you know Jamaica is a very diverse country. So all these regions in my ancestral DNA is not surprising to me because I know the history of Jamaica and how it's like a melting pot of different cultures. So seeing this, it's not a surprise. But the fact that it pinpoints the exact area, that's wild to me. Alright, moving on. I have 1% Cameroon. And that's also in Africa. And it says their ancestral region estimate is 1%, but it can range from 0 to 3%. And it's primarily in Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. And can also found in these areas right here. Alright? And it says I could share DNA from any one of these ethnic groups. So we have a list. We have a bunch right here, guys. This is amazing. Wow. This is amazing. So I had this last year, but it was added to Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu peoples. That was 7% last year, but now it just pinpoints Cameroon and just have like 1% instead of the 7% because it's more specific now. Alright, so I also have Indigenous America Central, which I already knew from my past update. So it says your ancestral result estimate is 1%, but it can range from 0 to 1%. And it's primarily in El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua. And can also found in Belize and those other regions. So I did a whole video on this. So anybody want to know how I end up having this in my ancestral makeup, please go and watch the video on the Miskito Indians who came to Jamaica, because that's how I end up having this specific region in my DNA. So if you haven't not watched that video, please look in the description box and click on the link so you could watch the brief history about that. Alright, because I'm not going to go over that in this video. If you have any questions, please share in the comments section. And the last update is Scotland. So I never had this at all in the previous update, but now it's showing. I guess it makes perfect sense. My last name is Scottish and my first name is Scottish, but yeah, so I guess it makes sense. So, and with the whole history of Jamaica, it makes perfect sense. It says your ancestral region estimate is 1%, but it can range from 0 to 1%. And it's primarily in Scotland, right? So I guess this is from the England and Northwestern Europe I had before. So that's 1% of the 3% I had, which engenders Germanic Europe. All right. And that's it, guys. So this was updated in July of 2024. And I'm just going to go over them. So I have 48% Nigerian. I have 18% Benin and Togo. I have 8% Ivory Coast and Ghana. I have 8% Central West Africa. I have 4% Mali. I have 4% Indo-Gamic Plain. I have 2% Euroba. I have 2% Bengal. I have 2% Germanic Europe. I have 1% Cameroon. I have 1% the Deccan and the Gulf of Mannar. So that will do it for my video. If you have any questions about all these genetic makeup, just share in the comments so I can learn a little bit more, because you know there's a lot of things that weren't there before that I have now, which is more specific. We have a lot of breakthrough for African people who are in the diaspora, like in the Caribbean, in the US, who have African DNA. We have a lot of updates for the ethnic group that each of us might be from. So that's a lot. You know, that's a lot of breakthrough for us. So I'm happy to see the updates that we have now. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know, guys. You could share in the comment section. If you want me to do a particular video on a particular topic, please also let me know. And please check out my other videos in the description box. So that will do it for my video today. Thank you guys for watching, and do have yourself a wonderful holiday. I know it's around Christmas season, so please enjoy it, stay safe, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you and have a good rest of your day. Bye now.